kind of stuff. Hey, Mike Griffith with Faco Motorsports Power Hour here. Back, I was caught unaware here a little bit, scrambling around. Got Blake Bowser in here from Auto Club Famoso Raceway.
Yeah.
In here because Scott Schweitzer is taking care of track business, as you operators know. No, he has a equipment problem there.
Oh, okay.
At the racetrack, and
yeah,
Coca-Cola showed up.
Sounds like he got some syrup,
and he's the one there, and
yeah,
they're fixing.
Usually the bees tell you when there's a problem. They find it, and then you go, "Oh, what's those bees? Oh, the syrup's out there."
so you find out that way.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Hopefully, we'll wish Scott all the best. He's getting ready. Sounds like so. He's
getting ready. So he's got his everybody. As we were talking with Steve Hughes earlier.
No pun intended.
It's race season.
It's getting here.
And it's getting here. So you come in and you've got a few things going on at Famoso. Starting obviously, we got a slide up here.
Yeah, not this, but next weekend we kick it off.
Yeah, the open test and tune on February 17th to 19th. Any car that runs out there can come out and test. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of nitro cars.
Absolutely. That's a pretty good chance for a lot of people to come get their stuff ready, and they spend all 3 days there. And then some guys will just kind of, if they travel out for the event, which is 2 weeks for the March meet, which is 2 weeks later, they'll just kind of go off and just go to the coast and hang out and come back and do the March meet. So, the next weekend, Import Face-Off, that's always a biggie. That's on Sunday the 26th. And then we clean the place up on Monday, and then here it comes. It's going to be the Good Vibrations March meet is going to be here in a couple weeks.
And you've got that. I've got to fix my ear. It came undone.
All right.
I couldn't hear Chris, which is kind of important when he yells at me to go to break. So sorry for that. But that's why I didn't quite have my ear in when we came back. But So you've got that. And what are you expecting this coming up on the first, the test and tune? A couple hundred cars maybe?
Yeah, probably each day. Friday usually is a little bit lighter. That's a great day to get there, actually, if you can come. Now, how that works, the pricing-wise, when he wants to come test, you pay for the weekend when you get there. So if you come Friday, you pay for all 3 days. If you come Saturday, you pay for 2. If you want to test for 1 day, you come on Sunday. So a lot of guys do that. They just show up Sunday morning and get their runs in, and they're happy, and go back. So it really is the bulk of the cars testing are cars preparing for the March meet. A lot of gassers, a lot of nostalgia cars, 1, 2, and 3.
And the bulk of them, a lot of testing on Saturday and Sunday because the nitro cars, they might start with a 60-foot hit or a 300-foot hit.
Work their way into things.
Work their way in. And a lot of
new chassis, new pieces, new parts, everything. Fire suit, they got to figure it out. Are they comfortable? And all that
people
stuff.
And new equipment. Yeah. So you've got to get comfortable. Got to get ready for race like anything else.
Yep.
It's preseason. It's testing.
It's preseason testing. Exactly
and
right.
And then the import face-off.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal.
That's always a big one. Yeah. Cliff, he puts on the import face-off and tours nationwide, runs tracks all over here in Chicago and all over the place, and puts on a really good show. They'll be out there Saturday night lined up waiting to get in Sunday morning for that deal. So I think our gates open like at 6 in the morning, and we just start bringing them in. So
and that's as big that's as much car show as it is race, is it?
It
not?
is more so probably. Yeah. The car show side is 350 plus cars, and the racing side's usually maybe 160, 170. So it's twice as big over there in the car show side. Very important. A lot of good awards and a lot of prestige.
Probably a lot of music being played loudly.
There is some. Yeah, not the kind I usually play when I'm cruising around town, but
but it's
it's okay. I'll put up with it for 1 day.
You do that, and like I say, as soon as you do that, boy, you're gearing up.
We will literally be cleaning the pits on Monday from Sunday, the 26th, and then I've got guys showing up Monday morning that'll be out there chalking it all out and cleaning up all the remains from Sunday, and Tuesday, the next day, which will be the 28th at noon, it all starts. The parking process all begins.
We're talking. This is the biggest, baddest nostalgia drag race in the nation, but you've tried to contain it a little bit. We were talking earlier, and you said that the rigs are so big now that you've had to.
There's an example right there. The Fries, their team, their rig is more of a dual-purpose rig. They also race out at Speedway with Scott. So, they take turns putting stuff in there.
And they don't race this at the Speedway. They have a sport mod. They have a modified, but they use the rig.
They use the same rig they throw this car in there to come drag racing, and they pull that car out and put in their dirt car. And so it's a big full-size, it's a semi, it's that big as far as the length of the rig. So we're just seeing more and more of that.
What you're seeing is more and more of the professional-sized rigs, the semi rigs, the 53-foot
with the amateur teams.
trailers, with and all the nitro trees used to have a tow behind trailer. Not anymore.
Yeah.
And then they all got a motorhome,
Right.
hospitality. So you've got a big pit area. But it fills
it's a big
up quickly.
Footprint. It fills up quickly, and we have vendors. Got about another 80. I mean, full size Flowmaster and all these different big vendors are coming. And of course, Jim Mayer with Good Vibrations, he'll have a big 80-foot setup right there at the
that's
race.
The whole
so
thing. That's part of this thing.
Takes up square footage.
The manufacturer's row is
the swap meet.
The swap meet is all part of the
car show,
the ambience of this event.
We could park 800 cars out there, but when you add or when you take away from pit parking, the space for the car show, space for the vendors, space for the swap meet, it really lets us about 480, 490 cars, something like that.
Including the nitro cars?
Yeah.
So
we've cut back.
Cut back to about 450, 440.
Group 1 and Group 2.
Group 1, Group 2.
Yeah.
Rather than you used to do about 500, right?
Over 500, knowing we're going to have a no-show rate or guys that just say I can't come. And
so now you get it in there.
So we're just getting that in
there. So you get their bump up right just under that 500 mark, basically because you're out of room.
We're out of room. Yeah, we're landlocked. I mean, that's as big as we can be,
Yeah, the bigger the rig, you got this huge rig for a pretty small race.
Without racing the weekend before, which that may come someday. Maybe we do some sort of a weekend before. NASCAR does it. They do all their qualifiers, their twins and all that, and then maybe we do something like that.
We did this several years ago. This went to from a 3-day event to a
4-day.
4-day, just to make sure that everybody can get their runs in.
Yeah, we just want to finish the race. It's so important the race gets finished. Like last year, we had some weather, but we finished it. I think it was like just shy of 9 p.m. Sunday night. But we finished the race on that race weekend. So, and when you look at what we throughout the 4 days of the event, we lost almost a whole day. A little bit of time here, a little bit of time there, but add up to almost a whole day that we lost down the track. We finished the event. So that 4th day really gives us that cushion to lean on.
Yeah, and Chris, you can go through here and just run through some of the slides of the various type of cars that'll be out there.
We got plenty of those. The previous slide there, fuel altered. Plenty of those guys coming.
and that's a great shot that Tom Mocht had from the Hot Rod reunion there. And that's so you want to be a fuel altered driver, do you? Well,
that's not so bad until it gets a little bit hot in the header flame there. Maybe you don't want that. You don't want to light it up.
That's bad enough to.
That's when your visor goes back down.
That's where you're going. He obviously had to, after it oiled, had to open up his visor so he could see
where he's going. And
so
they don't have the built-in little wipers there.
You could have the funny cars and nostalgia funny cars. Obviously, probably 30 plus those again.
Now I'm hearing Bartone's coming. I thought he was building the funny car and going funny car racing and all that, but rumor is he's got a new chassis and they're heading out. So.
Hot Rod Heritage Series champion Tony Bartone. There was a lot of conjecture last year if he was done with that. His back was hurting. He actually hadn't been racing. Came out here
had some substitute drivers in his alcohol funny car for the whole
season.
And
came out here in the October in the Hot Rod reunion and got in the car, bad back and all, and won that championship.
And won it. Yeah. So
and here's a pretty heavy hitter here.
Crable, they got a new car. They'll be debuting a new body, a new car, everything. Sold the whole entire car, and they've got a brand new one. So everyone that you've seen so far in these slides, they're all coming.
Which is if you like nitro, this is a place
this
to be.
This is the place you want to hang out.
You're going to see kind of Jim Murphy. He tested, I think, at Wild Horse, didn't he?
I believe he did. Yeah,
that's where
they
looked
had
like
a big
picture.
last weekend there. Yeah,
550s.
Oh, the car was just,
and then a 566.
The track was just in tremendous shape. I mean, they were setting records in every category.
Yeah, the big show cars were down there in Arizona testing last weekend, and Murphy was down there, and he was close last year. He's got Roland Leon doing that, and they changed.
They
with
were
their
trying
different,
a lot of things.
Different scoop on the different injectors and different way of getting air to the engines, and they used the mailbox for a while.
And Roland's taking, he was helping a lot of funny car guys there for a while, and now he's trying to translate that all to, a top fuel car. So it takes some time. He's been playing with. I know he and I had a long talk out in Boise last summer. He's trying to play with the side canards and just different things that he's learning. He's trying to take some funny car knowledge and maybe apply it towards top fuel.
Boy, if Murphy can get back on top and consistent, that's the whole thing. Is you make that one good run and then shake the tires the next run, and that's the whole thing with those skinny tires on these nostalgia style front engine cars. It's just such a fine line. The big show's a fine line.
Right.
It's all computer controlled fine line basically.
Yeah.
This is more of a driver controlled and
that's correct.
And the crew chief tune-up controlled.
The driver still has to talk to the crew chief, tell him what he felt. I felt this, I felt that. Where they, a big show car, they can just download the data and go, I did
computers
this. Yeah. They've got some data recorders, but it's not talking to them like the driver's feeling.
But it's not doing the pre-shifting.
Right. Yeah.
The clutch
the driver can hear it, he can feel it. They can literally still use the seat of their pants.
It's a tough thing, and probably an 8-car show for the.
For Top Fuel.
Top Fuel.
Yes. Yeah. 8-car show for Fuel Altered, although there's probably going to be 16 or so coming and 25 or so funny car. We are seeing some of the funny car guys putting the bodies on, alter bodies on the altered, on their chassis and going Fuel Altered racing. So car count's still there. Total car count 60 or so.
It's just divided up
a little bit.
The fuel cars, because some of the funny car drivers who couldn't quite.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to go there and not make the show.
Right.
So maybe you can make the show as a fuel altered on a 6.0.
They just don't want to try and run 550 and 560. That car can run 580, 590. So hey, put an altered body on it, go 6.0 and qualify for a race and get some
money, and you can still have some fun and run some nitro. So a lot of things coming up there at Auto Club Famoso Raceway. And you're headed to the Winter Nationals.
Yeah, I'll go down there. Well, I think I'm going down Friday and not sure about the weekend, just kind of back and forth. But
and some news out of Auto Club Famoso Raceway, it's still going to be Auto Club Famoso Raceway.
3 more years.
3 more years.
I am going down to visit with Mr. Tom McKernan. He's still the CEO of the Auto Club there.
He's chairman
of the board, I believe. I'm sorry, chairman of the board. So
and AAA, a big supporter of
drag racing as a whole.
Drag racing, and motorsports as a whole, which is
John
nice
Force Racing. Yeah, Robert Height, that's their title sponsor on Robert's car. And, obviously the title sponsor of our facility, Pomona, as well as Fontana, the title sponsor of the NASCAR event that happens in Fontana. So and I think St. Louis, they're the title sponsor of the drag race there. So the Auto Club race there. So they are heavily involved, and we really appreciate it. And thank you, Auto Club. They're back on, and thank you to Jim Mayer with Good Vibrations. They're back on for 2 more years. So Jim will be on board next year for our 60th, our 60 years of March Meet Racing celebration. That's next year.
Yeah, that's good.
So Jim's going to be on that.
We'll
be celebrating 60 years of March Meet drag racing out there. So that's going to be big, and a lot of guys back on board. Budweiser's back on board. They're great. So thank you, Ken Willett and the Lazzarini family. Thank you very much, and we're excited. We're getting ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're probably not going to have a show next week because we can come back a week after that.
Okay.
That'll probably get me time to get out there to
shoot
get a little videos. I'll shoot some video.
Yeah, we met up last night at the hockey game.
Yeah.
And put this together here last night.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in.
You
We'll
bet.
see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good.
We'll be back in a little bit with Bakersfield Speedway.